Hi, I'm Donna Fields and welcome to CLIL Scaffolding 4. This is a series of webinars designed to give you quick, easy, and adaptable scaffolding techniques. Scaffolding is an activity or technique that helps push students out of their zone of proximal development to a more complex level of knowledge. I like to use the image giving a helping hand. Today we're going to talk about how to use scaffolding technique number 52 that you can find in my book, 101 Scaffolding Techniques for Language Teaching and Learning, that's also been translated into Spanish. Today the objective is to show how easy it is to use scaffolding technique number 52 in a primary and secondary lesson. You can also use it in adult classes, in professional training, in any class you teach, and in any language. Scaffolding technique number 52 is called Something's Not Right. The idea is that you're going to present text that your students are responsible for learning with deliberate mistakes included. You're going to tell your students there are mistakes, and their job is to find them. By finding the mistakes, they're going to have to read the text, consider the corresponding images, and use deductive reasoning and previous studies of language and content to locate where the something not right is. Let's begin with a secondary history class. These are the first few pages of a chapter on the Middle Ages. The images are nice and they're large, but there's a lot of written information that's not explained in the images, and a lot of reading the students will have to do. This is a CLIL class, so the language of the text is probably different from the student's home language. So they're going to need to assimilate a lot of new concepts in a language that they may not be completely comfortable in. In other words, it's going to be overwhelming for most of them. So what can we do? Well, it takes a little bit of preparation, but it's worth it, and you can use this year after year. First, you make copies of several pages of the chapter with the images. I usually work with 10 to 15 pages in this activity. Type the information into text boxes, include 2 to 3 mistakes in each page. If you want, you can identify the type of mistakes you've included, for instance, 3 spelling mistakes, 3 grammar mistakes, and so on. Then you paste the text box on top of the corresponding page. Number the pages, laminate them if you want, and post them around the classroom walls. Now I make tables for each of the students. So in pairs, they use these tables to go around the room, read the text of each of the pages on the wall, and on the corresponding number, they find the mistake and write it down in the table. They also discuss the mistakes and write down what they think the correction is. You see an example here. The students found 3 spelling mistakes in page number 5. So you'll see that they don't have to go in numerical order as long as in the end they fill in the entire table. And you've now helped scaffold or pre-teach content and language for the next unit, and catered to physical intelligence as well. You've let them move around while they're learning. Let's try this with material from a primary geography class. The students need to read Incredible Earth. The font is nice and big of the text, the vocabulary seems easy, but we need to remember that learning content in a language that's not your home language is stressful for most students. So let's break it down into smaller pieces. Let's introduce it to them in an interactive way and give them an opportunity to feel proud of themselves by letting them make deductive conclusions about content and language. What do? We scan in the pages of the reader. Again, I usually use 10 to 15 pages, which in this case is the whole book. Type in the text in text boxes. Include 1 to 2 mistakes in each page, which you see I've highlighted, but only for you. Number the pages. Tape the text boxes to the corresponding pages. Post them on the classroom walls. Give each pair of students a table. And with their partner, they go around the room. And you see with the numbers, it doesn't matter the order that they read the text in as long as they read all of them in the end. So they read the text, they find the mistakes, and using past knowledge of the language and deductive reasoning for content, they write in what the mistake was and what the correction probably is. And that's it. You've built a bridge for your students to cross from their previous studies to what they're moving into, and in a way that's different and engaging. Classroom management obviously is the key here, but you can find very effective classroom management tips in my CLIL Giving a Helping Hand webinar shorts number 4 to help you with that. So all you super teachers out there, thank you so much for joining. I look forward to seeing you next time. Please leave me any comments at my LinkedIn page, Pinterest, Facebook, or Instagram, and subscribe. There'll be a lot more videos to come. Bye, everyone.